Welcome to the World 24 News channel.
Russia has pulled out of a UN-brokered grain export deal after what it said was a Ukrainian drone attack on its Black Sea fleet in Crimea on Saturday. So what do we know about the attack so far? Russia said 16 air and maritime drones attacked civilian and Black Sea Fleet vessels in the Bay of Sevastopol in Crimea in the early hours of Saturday morning. It claimed all 9 of the air drones were destroyed, along with 4 of the 7 maritime drones. Moscow reported minor damage to its minesweeper, Ivan Golubets. Unverified footage on social media showed what appeared to be maritime drones speeding across the water towards a Russian battleship while firing bullets. Russia's defense ministry has claimed the attack was carried out by Ukraine's 73rd Marine Special Operations Center under the guidance and leadership of British Navy specialists in the town of Ochakiv on the Black Sea coast. It said that personnel from the same British Navy unit, which it did not name, had blown up the Nord Stream pipelines last month. The UK has denied the claim, saying it was an attempt by Russia to detract from their disastrous handling of the illegal invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine has neither denied nor confirmed that it carried out the attack, and has instead suggested that Russia carried out the attack on itself, so that it could suspend participation in the grain deal. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's chief of staff, Andriy Yermak, said Russia had carried out fictitious terrorist attacks on its own facilities. Neither Russia nor Ukraine has provided evidence for their claims. Russia has claimed to have recovered the wreckage of some maritime drones. Russia's foreign minister needles U.S. president over Cuban Missile Crisis, and Ukraine President Vladimir Putin's foreign minister has needled Joe Biden over Ukraine, saying that he hoped the U.S. president had the wisdom to deal with a global confrontation, similar to the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has triggered the biggest confrontation between Moscow and the West since the Cuban crisis, when the Soviet Union and United States came close to nuclear war. Then U.S. President John Kennedy discovered that Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev had deployed nuclear missiles on Cuba after a failed U.S.-backed attempt by Cuban exiles to overthrow communist rule. At least 71,200 Russian soldiers eliminated so far, Ukraine claims. As the war in Ukraine passes the 8th-month mark, the country's Ministry of Defense has claimed to have eliminated at least 71,200 Russian soldiers. In its daily update of Russian losses, the Ukrainian authority also claimed to have destroyed more than 5,400 armored combat vehicles, 2,672 tanks and 274 military jets. Hundreds of ships effectively blocked after Russia pulled out of grain export deal. A total of 218 ships have been effectively blocked from leaving Ukraine due to Russia's decision to pull out of a UN-brokered grain export deal. According to Ukraine's infrastructure ministry, the vessels are unable to pass through the safe corridor to deliver goods to those in need. Russia announced it would be suspending its participation in the agreement, which allowed Ukraine's agricultural produce to be exported safely, following attacks on its Black Sea fleet in Crimea. As Ukraine did not have permits from the scheme's Joint Coordination Center to pass through the safe corridor, 218 vessels are blocked in their current positions, the ministry said via the Telegram messaging app. It added 95 loaded vessels that had left Ukrainian ports, were awaiting inspection for shipment to the final consumer, and 101 empty ones awaited inspection at the entrance to Ukrainian ports. A further 22 ships with agricultural goods were waiting to leave the country. Ukraine has said the deal, which unblocked 3 Black Sea ports, has allowed it to export around 9 million tons of agricultural cargo so far.